Good evening, guys. Sound check. Am I audible? Thank you. We'll just wait a minute more so that everyone can join in and we'll start the session. In today's session, we will be talking about how to make use of initiative activity. And although you have the profile chart, market profile chart on screen now, we'll be focusing more on the order flow charts and see how we can identify the initiative activity and take trades. So just give me 30 seconds more so that we can allow everyone to join in and then we start. So hope everyone had a good day today. Nifty has been moving in both directions since the start of this calendar month, the February. So let's start with the 2nd of February. The charts you have on screen is the market profile chart at the close of the 1st of February. So you can see in market profile, we had been forming a 4-day balance and this was a neutral extreme day down. Neutral extreme day means it extended to one side of IB, it failed and it went on to break the other end of the IB and closed below it. So two things happened in this neutral extreme. One is one FA got confirmed at 21,920 at the top. But the second thing is the POC shifted lower down to 21,754 into the close. So it was a failed auction at the on the upside, meaning which the buyer had failed and the seller had taken control. But what we saw at the close was the seller had booked his position because the POC has shifted down. So a neutral extreme days are notorious for not giving a follow up the next day. So this is what our context was when we closed on the first. So the reference for the next day was the POC of 21755 and the neutral extreme VWAP, which would have been an important swing reference for the sellers to hold on. So the VWAP of this day was at 21810. So when we had these two references marked for the next open, but what happened the next day was we opened higher. We opened with the gap up. And you can see in market profile, initiative activity is denoted by an A period single. Whether it's an A period buying tail or a selling tail, if it comes at lows, we call it initiative buying. If it comes at the on the top, if the A period singles leave a zone at the top, we call it initiative selling. So we can clearly see that we had an initiative buying tail here. I will just show the first half of the day so that we can start looking at this on the order flow charts and then take it as the day goes. So this was an open drive up. And if we see the order flow chart, we get more confirmation that it was dominated by buyers. So I'll quickly move on to the order flow chart. So on the left side, you have the 30-minute order flow chart. On the right side, you have the 3-minute order flow chart. What you see here is the closing on the 1st of February. We can see this POC shifting down and we are closing near the lows. So when we opened the next day, it was a higher open and you can see in the order flow on 30 minutes, we have only greens. The cart is also a good green one and we have made a good green bar on the 30 minutes. So I'll move on to the 3-minute order flow chart, which gives us even more quicker signal of the same thing. So you can see the first 3 minute bar itself had lot of good greens. You have almost a couple of thousand lots of greens, and then we have closed at the highs. So this is as good as an IB bar. IB is initiative buying, right? So in order flow, when we are seeing these kind of greens, this plus this back to back, we know that you have good initiative activity at the open. And it could be for any reason. We had buyers, plus we had some shorts who had got trapped, so they had to clear. Whatever the reason was, in order flow it is very clear that this is trending up. So here we know that we need to look for buy side trades. So how do we do that? So in order flow, we look for IBs, initiative buying activity. So we get our bias from the 30-minute order flow. 30-minute will keep us in sync with the higher time frame, and accordingly we look for trades in the 3-minute order flow. So as we go forward, we keep looking for any fresh IB signal we get to take a fresh entry into the auction. So in case we have not, because this was a very clear drive open, because the volumes were very good, it was double the average in the first 15 minutes. So we were looking to get in. So whenever we have a drive open, the VWAP of that day becomes the reference for the initiative player who has entered. So as we were moving forward, we are looking to, and at the same time what we do is we mark our references at the previous bar, be it a 30-minute order flow or a 3-minute order flow. We will mark the previous bar's references as support if we are looking for a further move in that direction. So for example, in the A period, A TPO 30-minute order flow, we have the VWAP at 21987 and the POC as 22020. So these two become our support levels going forward. So we look what the 3-minute order flow is doing at these levels in case we get a dip, so that we can get a fresh entry into the auction. So in case in order flow we have these four signals, we have IBs, which is initiative buying, we have IS, which is initiative selling, we have RB, which is responsive buying, and we have RS, which is responsive selling. So we use a combination of these signals to understand what the auction is doing and accordingly look for trades. So here we know that we are trending higher, but when do we take an entry? In case you have missed the morning 15 minutes and you can looking to take a fresh entry, how would you look for it? Because here we are getting reds here. We can see reds coming in here. We are seeing RS bars being formed. You can see this symbol as RS because the PO shift shifted to the top, and understandably because we had lot of greens and we had gapped up. So obviously the longs from earlier would want to book out. So we know the trend is on the upside and we are waiting for a fresh IB signal, or at least a touch of the VWAP or the POC as we mentioned. So 9:15 to 9:45 is the A period. So once the A period gets over, we have these two references which I had told. 22020 is the POC of A period and 21987 is the VWAP. So as far as these two are holding and we are getting some kind of buying signal at these levels, we can look to enter long into the market. So here we can see just after the A period, you can see the auction is taking support right at that POC. This bold white line is the POC of the day, which was also the POC of the A period. Obviously, because only 30 minutes have gone by, so the A period POC would be the POC of the day also. So we can see clearly when the B period is begun, it is taking support right at that POC. So that is one signal which we are getting in the order flow. So, but we've still not got a fresh IB here. So we are only been getting RSS. So we are still, although we are not looking at going short, but we are looking for another good signal to take a long position. So moreover, this was the initial, the first hour is done. So we are just waiting out because we don't want to get stuck in a seaside. Seaside is notorious for giving a fake breakout and it comes back and hits VWAP. So we are not looking to trade in the seaside. So we just observe, you do get a IB bar in the C side, which is a 1024, but the volumes of this is only 808. So it is also important for us to, because when you're looking at initiative buying, you're looking at more market orders coming. So when people want to get into the market at market orders, the volumes obviously will increase and you will get a good move, fast move. So which is not the case here. On 800 contracts, this IB is not that good a signal as we want it to be. So, and moreover, this is coming in a seaside, so we are more skeptical about this. And immediately we see this 677 seller coming in at right at the IBH. So we are not that comfortable taking this trade because this is again an RS and the IB is on less volumes. So one more important cue I would want to give here is whenever you're getting an IB, initiative buying has to be on good volumes. Any signal after that initiative buying, if it is not giving a follow up, for example, if the IB is not being followed by an RB or another IB and it has got more volume than the IB, then it is time to get a little bit on the safer side. Because if you get an RS with more volumes immediately after an IB, it is time to be careful and look to book your longs or at least trail it to your cost, because that is not a good sign. You want your initiative bar to be on good volumes because that is when you can expect a bigger range in your direction. So this IB was on just 800 contracts and immediately later we have got an RS bar on 1450 contracts. So this is not a confident booster for going long. Yes, these reds are could just be profit booking and not initiative reds selling, but still we need to get support of fresh buying coming in the market to take a long position. And all through this, our POC is still holding. 22020 is still holding, and we come to the close of the C period. So C period getting over, then we are looking for a range extension in the D, and we can go long in this because now it is going in sync with what the IB initial balance had gone. So this holding, this 22020 holding is a definitely a plus sign. Plus we need to look for an entry point. So here you see you've got this IB bar at 1103 and this is on good volumes, 2074 contracts, right? So we already were on inclined, bias was already to the upside because of this 30-minute reference holding and because of the open type. So this is a place where you can go long. What will your stop loss? Stop loss would be low of this IB bar, which is 22056. To be on the safer side, we can take a filter of 6 to 7 points. So you can take a stop loss of 22050 and go long because we finally got an IB bar on 2000 more good volumes. So this is where we look at taking a trade. So this is your D period when it closes. So we have taken this trade almost at the close 1103. So immediately after you take this trade, you can see a follow up coming in. And this is of 4,000 contracts. Also, although the POC of this bar has gone up, but this is very clear that a new imbalance has begun in this auction. So when we close the B period, so that is the reason it is important to watch the 30-minute and the 3-minute together, because 3-minute can give you a sign that there is profit booking on a shorter time frame, but the 30-minute will keep you in sync. It'll tell you don't need to book out full, you book part of your position and hold on to part of your position because the bigger time frame is still on the long side. And in fact, what the D period did was it gave a fresh IB signal on the 30-minute time frame. So this was even more bullish confirmation. So for anyone who is holding a long position, this is a very clear signal that hold on. So as I said, once you get an initiative signal, you take the references of that signal as your trailing stop loss. So once we got a IB in the D, because we are already in a long position, we can shift our trailing stop loss to this 22067, which is the POC of this bar. VWAP was also around the similar level. And for all for all good practical reasons, this low of this 30-minute IB becomes our swing reference for that day because it is right above VWAP, and we will expect this to hold because of the open and the fresh IB. So once this breaks, we know that the bullishness is got negated. So this is how we will keep trailing our uh, levels as per the fresh signals. Also, another thing to note is whenever you're getting a signal, that signal is valid for whatever time frame you're looking at. That signal is valid for T plus 9, that is 10 bars. So if you're looking for you're looking at the signal at 11:03, so this signal is for 30 minutes. So till 11:33, this signal is valid. So till 11:33, either you will hit the target, you will book part of your position, you will trail to cost, or you will look to exit if it is not giving you the move in that direction, and if your stop loss is also not hit, you will look to either cut down on your position size or book out and look for a new opportunity. So same thing with the 30 minutes. The 30-minute bar giving a signal will be valid for 3 hours. So it will be for 10 into 30-minute bars. So valid in the sense it is not that you will hold on to that signal blindly till the time you don't get an opposite signal in that direction. For example, if we get an IS or an RS bar on 30 minutes, it will definitely make us to book out of this long position. So this is how we compare the 30 minutes and the 3 minutes and hold on. So coming back to this 3-minute order flow chart where we have taken a trade based on this IB, and what will our objective be, because we know what our stop loss was. Even if we have taken an entry around here 22070 and our stop loss is 22050, we have got more than our 1:2 risk to profit. So definitely it makes sense to book out some profit when the order flow is showing us that. So because the 30-minute close was bullish, we can wait on the 3-minute for some more time and keep trailing at least the lows of the previous 3 minutes. So 22100 can be our stop loss as we move into the E period. So what happens in E is we make new highs. So on the 30 minutes, you can see we have begun to make new highs. So we are watching this. This is a good bar on 5,000 contracts. So we can take the POC of this bar also as an important reference, 22123. So if you want to aggressively trail your stop loss of shorts for longs, you can have this, or 22100 is your best uh, uh, level to hold. So then we just wait. Definitely, as I said, part booking is must, because once a trade is moved in your direction, it does not make sense to give back anything to the market. So it is always good to book some part profit and then hold on to rest with stop loss at cost. So next, what do we have? So after this, we get a fresh IB signal at 11:30, right? So what do we do? And this is again on good volumes. So we trail our stop loss to this low, 22140. This will be our new stop loss, and we can look to get even more lighter on the positions. In case we are holding multiple lots, we can go on to book that also. So 22140 becomes our reference, and then I'll just come to the close. We get one more IB bar here at right near the close of the E period. So this IB bar is also on good volumes, 2800. So what we do is we can look at this level, 22175 level, to be our trailing stop loss. So once that is broken, we are definitely, the next bar is a very good RS bar. It is very clearly showing that good profit booking is coming in because the POC shifted to the top and it has broken that IB low. So we book out of all our longs looking at after this bar. And more confirmation comes when the E period is also not giving us that bullish view as the D period was giving, because we have closed away from the highs. Although the VWAP and the POC are still inside the bar, it is not that bullish. It is not close at the highs. So we know that there is good profit booking which is coming, and so we need to wait for a fresh IB signal again to enter, because this IB is got negated. So this IB is holding, and this is our reference even now, because what we see here is still profit booking. So we will not be looking at going short on this signal, because going short we need initiative selling candle. We have only got an RS, responsive selling candle. So what this does is, you can just notice how these levels hold. This 22140, the line is extending to the on the right, so that in live market we can see how it is holding up. So, and we can see we are not getting much of supply here. So the trend is still on the upside, and the kind of open in the day we've had, it was a buy on dips kind of a day. So it was definitely not bearish at this point. And we get one IB here, but this IB is not a good quality one. I will tell you two reasons for that. This has only 1,000 contracts, and on the buy side we have zeros. So we're not looking seeing much demand over here. So one more thing I forgot to mention here is, as I had mentioned before, any IB bar followed by an RS which has more volumes clearly tells that the upside is done. So here you see this RS bar has got 3,000 contracts, and this IB only had 2822. So it is very clear that there is more selling happening into the market. So that is one signal to become cautious now on the long side, until you get a fresh IB bar on good volumes which takes out this RS. So we came close to this. This IB was a good one, but we had not got much buying here. So what we would have ideally liked was a follow up to this IB with another IB. So if we had one more IB here, taking off this RS bar of 22196, that would have been an ideal long trade for us, with a stop loss below this 22167. So, but more so because this 22140 IB level was holding for us. So, but that did not happen. And although we have some greens here, these are looking like some weak hands who are coming in. So, an inability to take out this RS was a uh, warning sign that the upside is not getting this thing, not getting more buying interested. And here, this 22140 level, this holding was the last straw. It was like the buyers are trying to defend this, but anything which is getting tested often, it is repeatedly getting tested, is bound to break. So because we are not getting any fresh demand at the higher level, even this demand which was coming in here was looking to dry up. And this is what happened. And we got this IS bar at 1224 in the G period. So you can see the after the E period, the F period was a narrow range inside bar. But what happened in the F period on the 30 minutes, we had formed an RS. So this was, even though this POC was still one reference for us, it was very clear on even on the 30-minute order flow that the auction is done to the upside, and it is looking for some test either of the VWAP of the day or of some lower level, this 22100 or this POC. So when we get this IS, and this is on 2000 contracts, this is a very, very good, uh, this is again an initiative bar which is coming, and this is on good volumes. And as we have been following that, we already had an RS at the highs, and that RS was not able to be taken out. And this IB also, which came later, got negated. So this IB got negated, and then we have got an IS. So it is very clear here that we are looking for the downside. So what we have done, we have broken this 22140. So this was a good time to enter a short trade with your risk being at 22151, because 22143 also is a good reference. But just to add a filter on it, we can have this 22151, because 22140 breaking itself was a sign that the buyers have been taken over by the seller. The control has been shifted to the sellers. So immediately the next bar we have got a 5,500 contract IS. So even if you are not short on this bar, this definitely changes the bias for the day, and more so because it has come to the VWAP with an IS and it has broken below VWAP immediately. So when you have a strong open, a drive open, the VWAP is sacrosanct for that day. But for any reason, if the VWAP gets broken, then there is good uh, chance of the auction going on to make new lows for that day. So this IS bar we can see was full of reds, and we have broken even VWAP in the very next bar. So what happens even if you are going short on this 22124 or 22134 becomes your reference. If you are already short on the first bar, you will book part and trail rest to your entry point. So you are into the short trade without any risk. It is a risk-free trade. And then you monitor the auction of what it is doing. So I'll quickly move on the 30-minute to what it shows in the G period. So we can very clearly see this 22100 also has been broken. So this becomes our scene of crime along with this 22140, which we were following so keenly with on the 3-minute time frame, and it was also holding for a long time. So our next reference on the 30 minutes would have been this 22027, which also got broken in the G period. So then we come back to the morning A period references of 22020 and this 21987. So this is how we continue. And once the VWAP was broken with an IS, the character had changed. The polarity had changed for the auction. The path of least resistance, as we speak in market profile, had changed to the downside. Till that, we were looking for buy on dips. We were looking for trades on the long side. But these two IS bars have had changed because they broke through important levels, and the VWAP also was taken out. So to be on the safer side, this 22085 could be our reference for the rest of the day. And with the auction staying below VWAP, we can expect more downside. So what it did was it first went on to make a low of 21952. Here we can see there is some RB. So this is responsive buying only for the only coming because there was shorts who were booking profits. Just like in the morning we were getting RS, but we were not getting much of downside because those were buyers who were booking profits. Here we are getting RBs, but they were not doing much because they were sellers who were booking out. And when it was not able to get back above VWAP. So we observe this on the order flow chart on the 3-minute, that what once it is broken on 30 minutes, you have these 30-minute references 22100 and that 22085 I had already mentioned. These would be our important references, and we'll see if the auction is coming near this levels on the 3-minute. What does it show? Because on the 30-minute it is left a bearish footprint. So what it does, it gets accepted below VWAP. After the G period, we have formed below a bar below VWAP. So it is very clear that it is no longer controlled by the buyers. So here, any entry near VWAP, we look for signals. If we are getting RS near VWAP, then that is a fresh signal to go short. Why? Because we already have an IS, we already have those levels marked at 22085 and 22100. So till those levels are holding, any RS near VWAP, you can look for a short trade. And also this POC is also showing us the change of polarity. In the morning, we saw how this was holding on the downside. Now it is doing the same on the upside. It is not able to get above this. So this low, another point I would want to make here was, see, this 21921 low was made at 124 on that day, and 21921 was the FA from the previous day. So this is where we actually stopped for that day in Nifty futures. That was the low we made, and you can see here in order flow we have got zeros on the sell side and an RB bar. So this is a very clear signal because it's a known reference, and we have almost negated the entire A period singles of morning, which was from this 22021 to 21883. So we have taken these out and we have made a low of 21921, where in the order flow we can see the supply is getting dried up. So this is a clear signal that there is no further selling happening here. So any level you come here, even if you're re-entering shorts on a higher level near VWAP, you look to book out at this 21930 level. So what we did after this RB, we went on to give a bounce, and I think we even went to tag the VWAP and the POC. POC was lower anyways. So this was the K period. K period we give lot of importance in market profile because it is action period for us. So here, as I was telling, just near the VWAP, we are getting an RS bar. So with a small filter, we can look to go short on this bounce, because just like we had zeros on the sell side at the lows, we have zeros on the buy side here at VWAP. So this is very clearly showing us there is no demand at the VWAP here. So which is what happened, and it gave that retracement back to 21928 into the close. So again here we were talking about that support holding, and again we have zeros on the supply side. So this is how we mix and match the 30 minutes and 3 minutes, and we do the same even for the option charts. So let's quickly open the option chart. So if you're looking to trade the option chart, first thing is we need to look what the market profile chart is showing us in the option. So I have taken the 21,700 call option for the 2nd of February. Why I have taken this? Because the spectrum range for that day was 21,750 on the upside and 21,500 on the downside, I think. So we had lot of inventory which had to adjust because of the unexpected gap up and the drive open. So once you have the context clear, and here in this you can see on the 1st of February, you can see in the POC shifting to the lows in this call option. So the POC is this pink line, which is at 164, and this would have been our reference for the next open. We had opened well above this POC, and we had taken off the VWAP of the previous day, which was a 222. So any option which is above previous day's VWAP can get more upside, and the targets you can look on the market profile as this responsive selling tail of 300 and this POC of 349 and whatever the higher references are. So this is how we look for objectives and setups in the structure using market profile. And how do we implement this in the order flow chart? So I'll move on to the order flow charts of the same call option. And what we did in Nifty futures, we'll do the same in the option chart. So I'll go to the 2nd February 30-minute order flow chart on the left. I'll just increase the PPR so that we are able to. So you have the 30-minute 21,700 call option on the left and the 3-minute call option on the right. So once we have the bias for the day, or we know what the futures is doing, how do we take trades in options? Similar setup, we look for initiative buying signals, and the 30-minute will give us the bias and the 3-minute will give us the entries and the exits. So I'll just quickly move. We have already discussed what happened in Nifty futures. So let us see what were the probable trades we would have got in this 21,700 call using the 30 minutes and 3-minute order flow chart. So I'll also quickly take up today's order flows and see what were the probable trades we could have got today in Nifty futures. So I would have loved to even cover Bank Nifty, but I don't think we will have the time for that. So we'll just do the Nifty, and maybe another day we would devote only to the Bank Nifty. And in options, one thing is you can see lot of swipes which come in options, because there is a lot of ca- writing which is happening, and there is a lot of stop losses which are being hit. So you can see good amount of swipes which happen. So you can see the opening 5 minutes, the 3 minutes. We can see that we have just this option is just settling down after the gap up, because the previous close was way down at 160, and we have opened above the POC and the VWAP of that day. So as we saw in the market profile chart, 222, the VWAP of previous day becomes our reference. And here on the 3-minute order flow chart, you can see we are getting zeros just above the 222 level. Although on the 30 minutes, the actual low of that call option on that day was 200 at the open, but we can very clearly see there was no volume below the 230 level. So this itself is giving you one confirmation that 222 holding, the bias is on the upside. So what do we do going forward? We look for a fresh IB bar here. So we have got above VWAP. We have got above VWAP in this bar, and this looks a good entry. So this 250, this POC of previous bar, because this is not IB plus IB, what we do in an option trade, if you're going long, we take the POC of the previous bar as our support. So this 245 would be the support in case we are going long in this call. And immediately we get this opposite IS bar, we book out, because this is opposing our view, and we wait for another IB bar. Although this reference is still holding, we don't want to risk. So we look for more, either the negation of this IS bar or a fresh IB bar. So what it does, see, this high of IS is still holding. So we need to take this off for any fresh probe. Only thing we know here is 222 holding is a bullish sign, but we want to uh, take a fresh entry, because in options you want to take a trade when the momentum is in your favor, because going long in options, only then you'll be able to make quick money. It will be very fast, but you need to be patient for that to show up. So what happened here? This is the IB bar we are getting at 948. So this is where you go long in this call. One more thing, as I said, because this is negating this IS bar, even negation of this could be a long, because options move really fast. Because if you wait for the bar to close, it is already 320, and the stop loss of this would be still be this 280 level, the POC of the previous bar. But this is how you hold on to this. So we see what the auction does after this IB bar, and it does give a dip, but it needs to hold this 280 level. So it is holding the 280 level on the 3 minutes, and here this is where it breaks. So it has hit our TSL. So we then look for a fresh entry into this. I'm very sorry. I think this is the 5th of February, which is why we are getting this 5th. I need to go to the 2nd of February. 2nd of February, yeah. So I'll come back to that 5th of February also, how a negation of an IB bar also leads to a good trade setup. Yeah, we are almost there. Okay. Yeah, so this is our opening 2 bars of that day. So as you can see, we have just swiped through this 222 with zeros, and we have made this high. And immediately after, just like how we had seen in the Nifty futures, we can take the low of the previous bar as our reference and enter this position. So here we didn't have to wait long for the IB. We have got an IB at the 930 bar. So 930 we enter and we have this POC as our stop loss 293. So and because this IB bar has come, this is valid till 10 o'clock. And till 10 o'clock, either the stop loss of this hits or we get an opposite signal, which is this. So either this is almost near to this low. So it is our decision to either take that extra 5 point risk or book out. So because the overall structure is bullish and Nifty futures is still holding, we can look to hold on to this option. Many times it happens that option will give you a small swipe lower than the level, but in futures that remains intact. So that is why it can be like said that in the options you can give a filter of maybe 5 to 6 points to hold and see if especially if the futures are holding. So this IB low is holding and we are just waiting, because even in the Nifty futures, we did not get much of a trade in the IB, and even in the C period, it was very slow. So you can see this, we are coming to the C period. This is that IB which we got in the Nifty futures also, which was on low volumes and we did not take that trade. So it was only in the D when we got a fresh IB. So we wait for so this is that breakout, and this is breaking out above the IBH. This is our signal in the call option that we can take a long position. And just like we had seen in the Nifty futures, the D had given on the 30-minute chart, the D had given an IB bar. Although it is not given as IB signal in this is also as good a IB bar on 30-minute time frame. So here you can see you can just keep trailing and holding your long position. So whenever you're getting a fresh high volume bar, you trail it to that particular. So, so this is how we look at the call, the thing, call option 30 minutes and 3 minutes. And here, when this POC of 444 is broken, even on the 3-minute time frame, we consider this up move to be done. So this is the way we can look for trades, and this is how we can know well in advance very quickly in the market when a particular signal or an imbalance is got over and you need to get out of it. Maybe you may not be able to reverse your position, but at least you know that the upside or the downside is done, and we now need to look for a opposite trade. So here you can see, I was just telling you how we can make use of the if you are an option seller, this IS plus IS, because we have got one IS here. So IS plus IS is a sell trade. So you can take a sell trade in this particular call, and your stop loss would be the POC above the first IS. So 473 would be our stop loss, and we are taking an entry at this 420 level. So, and you immediately see that probe going down until the time as the you get a good till the time you get a opposite signal or a good RB. So this is a very good sign of booking out in case you have gone short in that call. So we can use these option charts in order flow in both sides, even to go long and again to reverse, because when an option has ran up, immediately if the signal is reversing, it will almost give back all the up move it has made, and at least come back to touch VWAP. So uh, it works both sides, both the ways. So anyway, this is one example of how we could have taken the trade. I'll quickly come to the 22,000 put 30-minute order flow chart and only look at Okay, and before I Okay, so before I proceed further, on the 2nd of February, we had some important selling references which were left. So on the 30-minute order flow chart, we have those marked. So I would want to show one such reference which was at this VWAP of the G period 22034, correct? So this was our reference because it was not taken out, right? And if you see the next day, the 5th of February, after the open the IB, we made a high right there, and we can see on the 30-minute order flow, we are getting slack of reds together. So it's this is what is showing and confirming the previous seller zone reference that the sellers are still active in this zone. And what we did was this level was not taken out, and even in the afternoon after the G period, we made another attempt there, and for the second time we got only more of reds. So it was very clear that this is holding, and this is not a wonder that we got that quick move lower. So this is how, when you're getting big selling on one particular day, that selling will leave the footprint even for the coming days. So especially in the next session, whenever we are getting a bounce and we are coming to an important reference, it will always look for that to hold. And what we did yesterday at close was, okay, one more thing I would want to mention here, this low 21765, why was the auction stopped right here? When we started this session, I showed you the market profile chart, and we saw on the 1st of February how we closed, and we saw the POC shifting lower to this 21754. So exactly here we took support again on this day, the 6th of February, and similar to this day, we saw the POC shifting down to 21796. So this is the reason, although we did get selling yesterday and also on the 2nd, this POC shifting here to the down yesterday was a signal that the shorts again were booking profits. And this POC holding was that this is a demand zone. And that is the reason we got this move on the upside today, where we left an A period single. So when we are getting initiative activity confirmed on the market profile chart, all you need to do in the order flow is look for IBs in that particular direction. And the same thing for call options. So today, because of this A period signal, we because of this A period signal, we were looking for call options all day in Nifty. And as a confirmation, what it did was it made higher highs. We made range extension in the E. We left an extension handle here at the IBH 21923, I think it was. And we made higher highs for most part of the day. So this is how we look at market profile and then take our trades in the order flow. And then what it did was today again it is shifted, the POC is shifted to the top. So what it is telling, the buyers who had come in the morning have now booked out. So overall, what is happening in Nifty is we are forming a balance. Just like what we were doing on these 4 days, we formed a balance on these 4 days. We are doing the same now. And if we make a composite of these 4 days, we get a nice composite value area. And the same thing has happened with these 3 days. So now we have formed a So now we have two good value area zones which we can trade as in when the order flow are giving us confirmations. So we have closed right at the POC, I think, of this particular balance, and we will need to look for some initiative activity at the open for a move away from this. Else it may remain in this composite and give us mean retracement range, because this is a very prominent HVN zone, and auction could keep coming back here from both ends of the value. So okay, as I'll just, because we were talking about today's open, I'll quickly go through the call charts of today of 21,700. So this is how we opened. Yeah, it's getting late, so I'll just quickly do this one last chart of today's call option of 21,700 and look for the probable trades we could have taken today, and then we will wrap it up. So on the 30 minutes chart, you can see the A period has made a POC at the bottom, which is 160, and 160 was also the VWAP of previous day, I think. The POC of previous day. The POC of previous day was at the same level, and we have taken support right there. So the A period is giving us that confirmation that that is a. So this becomes our reference because it was. So also, if you check even the 21,700 call option chart of yesterday, the POC shifted to the lows. So same thing which we discussed in Nifty futures. So that is a sign that becomes a support. So in case we would have stayed below that POC level in the morning, it would have got written. The call would have got written, but that did not happen. So we just there. So this is the open of today in that call option. So although in the open we have not got any IBs, you can see this white bar, this 159 is yesterday's POC. We are taking support right at that POC level. So this bar, this 921 bar is a good IB bar. Although it has not been printed in this bar, this is definitely a good IB bar. And this is a very good low risk long which you can take with the stop loss below this 152. And we another confirmation what we need is this needs to stay above the VWAP of the day as and when it is going up, because only then it shows us that the buyers are in control. So and that is what we look for. We look for VWAP and extension even on the order flow trades. So you can see this call option is been staying above VWAP, and here this POC shifting higher here to 217 is one signal where you can look to book some profits in this call, because it is shifting from low to highs. The POC shifting can indicate profit booking, and you can see once the POC shifted, immediately for the first time the VWAP got broken in that call. So now again the POC is shifting down and we get IB plus IB. So this is one signal we can again look to go long in this bar. At the same time, you have the 30 minutes, because this is 10:57. We have the 30 minutes also open to see that whether it is making higher highs on the 30-minute time frame. So this is how we look to hold on to trades, and then VWAP becomes our reference. A break of VWAP or an opposite IS will negate that signal. So here you can see holding VWAP, it went on to probe higher, and because today we had the initiative buying tail at lows, it would have served us to look for more RB plus IB signals in the order flow to get into the long side. And I'm talking only about Nifty futures, because both of them are different Bs. So you can see how we have remained above VWAP all day, and whenever there is profit booking, any dip which comes is held above the VWAP. So although we did not have too many IB bars in the call option as we had on the second, but the order flow rules work on all days. Yes, all days are not same, so it is not necessary that we will get those IBs. If we are not getting IBs, then we wait for the signals to show up, and in case we don't get them, we just stay out of market for that particular day and look for the opportunity the next day. So that is it from my side for now, guys. I think I've taken too much of the time, more than the scheduled time. So hope you guys liked it. Any queries you have, we can quickly have a uh, question answer session. Bank Nifty has been forming an inside balance. We have the RBI on day after, so which is why we can see last 2 days have been a narrow range bias in that. So this is the market profile chart of Bank Nifty. See what had happened on second. We made this neutral extreme day. We had this neutral extreme day, and this day we have opened lower. So we have formed lower value, but these 2 days we first got selling at this level yesterday, 46353. And guys, we have these references marked in the daily report. So 46353 was the January series VWAP and was an important reference when we went higher on second. So it was stalling right there, and once it was taken out, it continued higher. We went on to hit that 47,145 mark, and now it is showing change of polarity because we had a 30-minute IS bar right there. I'll quickly because the 30-minute charts are open. I'll quickly show the order flow charts of that day. Because we don't have time, I'll just do the 30 minutes and not the 3 minutes. So here you can see that we've formed an IS bar on the 30-minute time frame. And these references on 30 minutes continue to hold on. This POC of the GP rate, the high of the GP rate, this POC 47,060, these all become our important references, 46750. So here you can see one important reference of 46445 was another place where we got big sellers when we left that extension handle at the close of the neutral extreme. And this is what I was talking about. Look at this VWAP of that K period of 2nd of February, 46356, right? And see where we have made a high on the next day. So 46356 was continuously getting supply yesterday. All day we were getting supply in Bank Nifty, and we were watching it in the room, and Shai was also mentioning us that we are getting lot of supply here. Although the supply was not visible on the downside, this zone was consistently getting supply, and because of which we went lower yesterday, and we tagged that 47974, 47917 in fact. So today, if you see the 30-minute order flow chart, we made lows. This was an important RB bar, and we continued to probe higher, but we got big selling coming at this H period breakout. 946 and 644 sellers came in and they stalled the upside. So which is why Bank Nifty has formed a 313 profile. It's a neutral center day. So now generally a 313 and a neutral center gives a trend day in the next session. Tomorrow being expiry, there was a good chance, but we will need to look at the open type and the volumes, because the volumes of the last 2 days has come down in Bank Nifty. So, and because it could be because of the RBI expiry, RBI policy, which is due on the day after. So, but anyways, if we get a good strong open and initiative volumes, we could still have the trend day tomorrow in Bank Nifty. So profile wise, I will take it as individual profiles and not make a combo, although you can combine them also. So this will be our value area and reference for tomorrow in case we need to move out. Else we can look for this balance to get more smoother and look for a move away on the Thursday or Friday once the RBI policy is done. So that's it. Any queries regarding today's session, you can post. I can answer the questions, or you can DM me on Twitter. My Twitter ID is @Uttam Goel, and it is open for DM. And any other queries you have regarding the charts or any other features of VTrender, you be happy to mail at support@vtrender.com. Value area is this, which is marked 45898 46147. The 2-day value area is given on the right side. It is there on the screen. Red, green, and white. The numbers in order flow, they come in colored when you have imbalances. White means there is no imbalance. When you have a selling imbalance compared to the buyer, the seller is bigger. Then you have a red color coming in. So that is where the color references come in. Yes, 45898 is the value area low. 46147 is the value area high. And 46145 is, I think, where we got the RS on the 30-minute time frame. You can see this. So this is how market profile and order flow, the combination is very lethal and it gives you a very good reference. We cannot expect selling at open, but definitely if you were long today, it is good to book out at the close. Tomorrow, yes, because the POC is on the top, we will see the open type and see what volume we are getting at open. In case we get an RS plus an IS at open from the POC, definitely it can give a move lower. So any more queries, guys? SOC is a scene of crime. The more you look at charts, you will get familiar with those levels, because today's extension handle at 2191921 also was an SOC, in the sense the auction started to confirm upside after that happened. So it is just a matter, you just watch the charts, both order flow and market profile, you will get the SOC. So I think that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. And as I mentioned, if you have any queries, feel free to get in touch with us. Thank you for listening in. And all of you have a great evening.